we heard this absolute screeching and screaming, and there was something standing there on the edge of the road. It had like a moose head on it. I threw my high beams on to better see it. The eyes were red on it, and just as I threw the high beams on, the thing didn't just like gracefully get up and fly toward us. It jumped immediately straight up in the air and started flying fast directly at us. I'm a carpenter by trade. I'm retired. I estimated the wingspan of this thing, 10 to 12 feet. People think they're so cocky to turn around and say, oh, it doesn't exist. Well, come out here and camp overnight, please, and see what you find. Because, you know, don't tempt the devil.
Don't tempt the devil.
The Pine Barrens. Lovely, dark, and deep. Like everything beautiful and mysterious, this forest holds secrets. With over 1 million acres of land, the Pinelands provide extensive cover for a vast range of wildlife. Since the early settlers arrived in the pines, stories of the unexplained have been broadly recorded. From tales of the Jersey Devil, to hauntings, strange encounters, and even secret government programs, the Pine Barrens continue to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. This brings us to today's story. It was the late summer of 1981. Gary, a local carpenter, was leaving Old Martha's swimming hole with his girlfriend at the time. Little did they know, they were both about to be face to face with the Jersey Devil himself. That fateful encounter would change Gary's perception of reality for the rest of his life, causing him and many others to question what else may be living in the darkness of the New Jersey Pine Barrens.
All right, good morning everybody. So today I'm actually in a town called New Gretna, and it's basically on the border of the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Down the road about 5 minutes there is a lake or a pond, and this guy had contacted me because he saw one of my other videos talking about portholes in the Pine Barrens. And I'll leave a link to that video in the description of this one if you guys want to check it out. But the video has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of views, and I've gotten contacted by quite a few people with interesting stories surrounding what goes on in the Pine Barrens. And today I'm going to be filming this guy's interaction that he says happened in the 80s to him and a girl that he was with, where he actually came face to face with the Jersey Devil. So I can't tell for sure if any of this stuff is real, if it's not, if it happened, if it didn't, but I'm just out here to film the stories and share them with everybody online. So this is about to get really, really interesting. Stay tuned. We're about to meet up with this guy in about 5 minutes. All right, I'm about to pull onto this main road here, and it's about 5 minutes to the lake. I did get pulled over on the way here, so already the day is off to an interesting start.
Hey, license, registration,
how are you?
proof of insurance. Good. How are you?
Good.
So the reason for the stop was the registration on the vehicle's expired.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The reason that I decided to meet Gary today is because I'm becoming a go-to guy to record paranormal situations that have happened to people in their lives, and I feel honored, but I also feel a responsibility if these people are reaching out to me that I should go out and let them tell things that happen in their lives that are just unexplainable. There is so many mysterious happenings in the Pine Barrens that just defy logic, and this is one of them. Alright, I think I'm pretty sure I should be coming up on this person. Is this them right here? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. No. Is this the guy right here? Are you the famous Gary?
You? Yes, I am. Tucker.
How are you?
These people are fans of yours. They watch your videos.
Really?
Yeah, right over there, a whole family there.
So they're gonna watch your video?
Well, that's going to be up to you. Yeah, are you by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is that acceptable?
It absolutely is. I just don't want you going into Pines by yourself. And somebody who, if they get scared, something happens, they don't run off on you. So you got to stay together and be in a pack, because you'll find out. You'll find out in this place. So if you're going into the woods, I would suggest you bring some bear spray if you can get it, or a stun gun. I don't know how legal they are. You can't take any weapons with you. But I would take a great big stick in with me, a hard stick, if you had something. Because what I saw back there, I don't think it was trying to hurt us. I think it was trying to warn us to get the heck out of there. So if you want to, we'll go back there and I'll show you.
Yeah, that's what I want, yeah.
Okay, I'll get in my car and you can follow me, and
then I'll mic you up and then we can do the full story.
Okay, yeah.
All right?
Yeah, are you getting some of it now?
I'm getting it all right now, but
all right, yeah,
this little thing right here, it'll pick up just perfect audio.
Okay.
So yeah.
These people watch you.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you. They say, oh yeah, we watch him. It's a Tucker's coming. So.
That's pretty funny, right?
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
All right, so I just met Gary for the first time, and he's taking me out to where the actual encounter happened, and we're gonna film with the mics and everything out here. So yeah, we're really deep in the middle of nowhere. We're deep in the middle of the pines, literally. We're about to go into the woods, into the pines. I'm gonna be using the GoPro too to get extra footage, just because I want to save the battery on the main camera for the interviews. So we're going into the pines right now. This is real. This is wild. This is like having faith in just meeting someone 5 minutes ago and just being like, all right, yeah, I'll follow you into the woods where people disappear all the time. But It's part of being a YouTuber.
Nice.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, the reason why I've contacted you was I saw your video. I'm 76 years old. I don't know how much longer I have. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was diagnosed with a tumor in my neck. I'm a very serious man. I'm a Christian man. I have a problem relating what happened to us with my Christianity. I have my Christianity still, but I cannot compute what had happened to me here years ago, what I saw. And I wanted you to know because I don't know how much time I have, and I wanted it to be said and told this way to somebody. I mean, whether you pass it on, whether somebody contacts you about it and everything, when you see all these videos about the Jersey Devil, I saw it. It's real. Scared the heck out of me as an adult man. Okay, and as we were in the swimming hole up here, which was called Old Martha's at the time, and I think it's about a mile in or so, mile and a half from here maybe. We heard this absolute screeching and screaming like I've never heard before. I used to hunt and stuff. When a deer was hurt or a rabbit was hurt, they would squeal and stuff. This was something that was high-pitched and really so loud it made you get goosebumps because it scared you. As an adult man, it scared me. I told my girlfriend, I think we should leave. We got in my truck, which was an old like 72 3/4 ton Chevy with the 4 on the floor, 4-wheel drive, and these bumpy roads here, you got to go slow. So we're in about, maybe, I think about a mile and a half. And when we were coming out, it was getting dark. And as we came down this road, we made a turn to the left and straightened out. At the turn was some high weeds like this, and there was something standing there on the edge of the road. Looked, it had like a moose head on it. I did not see too much about what had antlers or that sort of stuff. I noticed the breast. The breast was kind of a camel gray to it, okay? And as we're coming down, my girlfriend at the time sees it and starts freaking out in the car, in the truck. I see it, and I'm like, I don't know how to even think, because all of a sudden she's screaming in my ear, flipping her out in the truck, scared to death. I yelled at her to lock the door. I locked mine, and we continued to go down toward it. I had the truck in low gear. I was going to power through if I had to. But this thing was standing there, got in the middle of the road. I threw my high beams on to better see it. The eyes were red on it, and just as I threw the high beams on, the thing didn't just like gracefully get up and fly toward us. It jumped immediately straight up in the air and started flying fast directly at us. And it came at us. It was probably less than a quarter mile away from us at the time. And it came and it flew right over my truck. I'm a carpenter by trade. I'm retired. I estimated the wingspan of this thing 10 to 12 feet. My cab of the truck was about 6 feet, and the wings on either side stuck past approximately 2 feet. And that's as much as I can tell you at this point. I will tell you that it was getting dark. It was a hot summer or September evening. I cannot remember, but it was getting dark, and there also was a fog settling in. I threw my high beams on. When I threw them on, it was like as if you saw in a horror movie where there's a mist or a fog around the grave sites of a cemetery or something. And this fog was approximately maybe 12, 15 feet above the truck at the time, okay? And it was like a layer there. I threw the high beams on, and the lights would not actually go any higher than that fog. It was like there was a curtain or something on it, which in that self, in the time that it took me to process all this stuff so quickly, this was happening as well. This weird thing with the fog settling down on us, with my lights on it, and my lights would not shine any higher. It's like as if the fog was holding my lights down where they couldn't shine up toward the sky. And it seemed to have a ceiling on it of approximately 12 to 15 feet. And this thing came at us flying under that and over my truck, and flew down past us and went behind us. And I didn't waste any time thinking about it. I just kept going down. It was actually this road here that existed back then. There used to be a bridge here. We're going to go find out. But I understand last time I was here that the bridge was out. I think I remember that the pilings were still in the creek at the time, but the bridge was gone, and there were piles of dirt, like dump truck loads of dirt dumped in front of the bridge. The last time I was here, I was telling somebody about it and drove him out here and told him the story, and he wanted to come out and see, but we could not go any further than the creek because it was closed off. I believe this area here is the turnaround where we're parked, and this is where I noticed right here on the ground where it seemed to be almost 2 bushel baskets full of fruits and big vegetables and stuff like that, that somebody was feeding something out here, and I don't think it was deer, baiting deer. I don't believe at the time you were allowed to do that, but this whole place was covered with fruit and vegetables and stuff all over the ground right here. So quite honestly, I don't know. Somebody possibly knows about this back here, and we'll just go down there and we'll take a look and see what we can see. But I really don't believe we can get past the bridge. I will draw you kind of a map in there where the creek is, and as relative to the road and the parking area back in here. Bear in mind, I haven't been back there since I think 82, around there, somewhere around there. I was raising my family at the time by myself, 3 daughters, and taking care of my elderly parents and stuff. I'm a serious person, and I have no time or drama to make this thing up. This is what happened to me. And I was just relating this story to somebody over here by the lake I was just talking to, and just recalling it made my hairs on my arms stand up. And every time I've ever recalled this to anybody, telling them the story, the hairs on my arms would stand up. You know, I don't have any nightmares about it or anything. It was something that the things that I have seen in my life and done in my life, it didn't shake me up that much. It was important to do it, and it's important to tell the story now, to get it registered with somebody, okay? Because I'm not sure. I've had heart bypass and that sort of stuff, and I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I want the story told so that somebody can believe it or not believe it. I don't care if people don't believe it, and if there's the trolls out there that don't believe it, well, don't listen to it. I know what I saw, you know, and I know what happened here. And if people think they're so cocky to turn around and say, oh, it doesn't exist, well, come out here and camp overnight, please, and see what you find. Because, you know, don't tempt the devil, seriously. And I wasn't tempting or anything like that, but this happened to us. I don't know what we're going to find up here. It's been so long. I told you about some of those other things that happened, right? Yeah, the ones with the Christian couple that was there. Well, there were two Christian couples that were there, and they were camping off of Bodine Field. And he told me the story of having experienced this, where they, and it's boating field from here, it's not even a mile away. They were there camping, and they went kind of off of the beaten path a little bit and got into the thickets where there was a clearing. And it was in the middle of the night. They had no fire going, and they were in their tents, and it was dark. Excuse me. And in the middle of the night, they were woken up. This is what they related to me. They were woken up by some people making noise and chanting, and they woke up and snuck over to see what they were doing. And people were walking by with hoods on and carrying torches and chanting. And these were Christian people that are telling me the story. The one guy, he became a pastor somewhere. They moved down south somewhere in North Carolina or something. I knew them in their infancy when he was going to a local church in Mystic Islands. And that's what he told me. There's been a bunch of other things that have happened here. I've related some of them to you, but some of the stuff I'll tell you off camera about what I know, and you can investigate that if you want to. I did say to you to be careful who you approach here about some of this stuff that I tell you, because a lot of it is kind of secret stuff. So anyway, now let's walk, okay? And he took a lot of trees down and stuff, and he was, imagine this, ripping into a motorcycle guy. This was a swimming hole. We heard something to this direction here coming at us from quite a ways away and getting louder and weirder, extremely. And this road here, just like this one, goes a long way. This would be the stream here. Okay, this is the road. And this road came down, I would say it's probably a couple miles. This road takes a turn to the left, a short jog, and then goes like this. Okay? It may intersect with another road. I do not remember. But it makes a left-hand turn, and then comes here and straightens out. Okay? From there, following this road out to the highway, it made another left-hand jog that way, coming down. I don't know what that distance is from this page to there. It might have been a half mile. Perhaps it was a half mile. This right here, I'm not sure where the stream follows, but all that screaming and everything that we heard, and then that thing, I call it the Jersey Devil, appeared here. The weeds were high here, and that's where I'm coming along the road. Not quite the length of a football field, I don't believe. My girlfriend is freaking out. I see it in my lights, low beams, and then I threw my high beams on. I threw my high beams up. This thing didn't take its time and flying slowly up at me. It almost like jumped up at me, which freaked my girlfriend out more. Jumped up in the air and came directly at us, like as if it was a jet. And it came at us and flew right over the top of my truck and went back behind me. I did not stop to think about it, to anything. Her and I were okay, and we turned around and just got out of there as fast as we can with the potholes and stuff that are in this road. I kind of couldn't drive 45 miles an hour. I had to go, maybe if I was lucky, 30, 35. But that's what happened that evening. As I threw the high beams on, the ceiling of the fog was just like this right over it. It was the weirdest thing because you could see it dancing back and forth like a cobweb. The fog in strings like. And this thing came underneath that and flew right over my truck. And the girl that was with me, she lives, I believe, down in North Carolina now. That's the story.
What did it look like?
As much as I could see this thing coming at it, it was almost like if you watched a movie. If you watched a movie, if I can recall, it happened so quickly. You know the Hobbit movie, the Unexpected Journey? Okay, and remember when they got into the town and the thing is coming over the town, blowing out the fire, setting the town on fire? It had a face like that coming at you, okay, and the wingspan. And it all happened quickly. I had a lot to try and process and to denote into like my memory. I can't tell you what you and I talked about 10 minutes ago. I'll forget. I sure as heck can remember that day, that night. You know, it's like you put things to your hard memory core or something, that you can recall that at an instant. And this is what happened. And I don't even care about the people that don't believe it. They weren't here, they didn't live it, and they should try coming out here and spend it. You're not allowed to camp here. You know, you got to have specific camping areas in the state forest here. But I believe there's a reason why. They kind of keep you isolated, and the rangers are always monitoring that campsite over there. So.
Do you think they know more about?
Yes. Yeah, it's just like the game wardens and forestry rangers out west and things like that. They don't say. They really don't say. You know, who are we to be so arrogant to think that this stuff does not exist? You know, we're in our happy little world and everything it's okay, and we're going to run down to Wawa and get a cup of coffee or something like that. And that's our means of our life, and running to the job and traveling on the expressway or down the Garden State Parkway or something, and we're into our life and paying our mortgage and stuff like that. And this is old stuff here, original stuff. Who knows how long it's been? Now, if this happened in '82 to me, okay, with all the legend and stuff and the folklore that they say, who's not to say that that's still not here? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's 40 years, possibly 40 years ago or something. I don't believe that has anything to do with that thing existence.
So some people say they think it's like flesh and blood and bone, and other people say that they think it's a spirit.
It's no spirit.
So what's your interpretation of it as, like, what kind of being is it from what you've experienced?
The way it flew and everything was almost like a dragon, but it was walking on the ground. I did not get to see the hind quarter or the hind end of this thing. I had no idea what it looked like. I had a lot to focus on and a lot of information to digest and process in the time that this happened, and this thing was coming at us. But it did come at us. I mean, I raised a family by myself. What I'm saying is, I'm telling the truth on my daughters, my family, that this happened to me. You know, and I don't really care much about people not believing it. Okay, I know what happened. Okay, they don't. They were not here. They could easily say something. They could sit there and talk on their computer and stuff. Get out here, my friend. Get out here. You'll find out. Look at the blueberries. I think they're blueberries, aren't they?
They look like it.
Oh no, they're on briars. Those are briars. Look at that. That's feed for somebody. But anyway, this is as much as I know. We could go back there to the swimming hole and trace our track back to here, but it's basically the same as we're on right now. It was a sandy dirt road. And then somewhere along the way, perhaps halfway between the swimming hole and the highway, is when all this happened. And it flew right back, right over us and went that way. It didn't stop. It went this my way. No. So, this other fellow he said that he's got a friend that experienced similar, he said to me something similar to this in the same area. I'm going to try and put him in touch with you, or you in touch with him, you know, you got to ask permission to people. You know what I'm saying? And you got to, if I talk to the guy, you got to say, listen, I just did it. I just talked. I mean, I don't care about ridicule, any of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I've lived and died lives already myself, and buried people, and my brother was a quadriplegic and all that stuff. You talk about Lake Oswego, my brother was paralyzed out there and spent 11 years in a nursing home and stuff. Life has been serious for me. I'm being serious with you and whoever will listen to this, that this happened to us. And as a Christian man, I can't tell you right or wrong from it all. I can tell you that this happened. It really did happen. So there you are. It's all up to you, Tuck. You post it what you want to do. Because they did show the Jeep, they called it the Jeep trails.
Okay.
And there is, I believe, separate maps that showed you these running all the way through. So I know this first turn coming off the lake, the right turn, is the one that I went to toward what we considered Old Martha's, which was just it was a skinny dipping hole, really. It was a little bit deeper water. Everything, people would go out there. You know, that wasn't what I was doing that day. We were just cooling off. It was a hot summer day, man, and you just couldn't get any relief whatsoever. So you get out here and you get in this brackish water and cool off.
What time of night was it?
We were probably there for an hour just before sunset, and then it closed up quick. It might have been in September, away from the crowds. I'm thinking it was 81. I tried to recall. It turned dark, and then the fog set in. And I was like, I mean, the whole thing, as I related to it, it's like a horror story. You know how people, when they do a Halloween costume or something, they'll put fake mist and fog on the ground, or it's like this was going on in the, maybe as high as that brown branch on that pine tree over there. That's about how high the fog was. It seemed just like right over my truck. And I was like, that in itself was so damn weird.
All right, should we walk back?
Yeah, let's get back. I'm worried about my missus, you know.
Yeah.
So, every place has a story, you know. And who's to say they're not all right, you know? I think one of the places I think is one of the most fascinating places on earth is Egypt, the stuff that they have going on there. And I think that whole history of Egypt is yet unwritten for people to find out yet.
What would you say about people trying to poke around out here? Who might think it as kind of like a joke or something like that?
Don't do it. Don't go alone. Seriously. I lived here. I have nothing specific to tell you and poke at. Don't bring an illegal weapon. You need to have something, and you need to be with 2 or 3 people. I would not say 2 is enough. And you need to be with people that are not going to get scared if something confronts you and one's going to run off. You need to present a united front, even if it was a bear, okay? If you're engaged with a bear in the woods or a mountain lion or something, you need to stay together. But I would not advise anybody to just go out here in the middle of the pines somewhere and say, hey, I'm going to go do it. And don't do it alone. Don't do it with just your husband and wife stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you love your wife, don't put her in that position. I mean, this is beautiful. This is beautiful land. Beautiful. Nature's beautiful. There's something in here that's been enjoying this nature for a lot longer than we have. This is their turf. You're visiting, honestly. I mean, I don't know. There's not been a lot of true sightings where the police can confront somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? It's people that have experienced stuff. A lot of people they clam up. They don't say anything. You know what I mean? I'm raising my hand saying, yeah, this happened to me. You know, say what you want to do. Sit at your computer in your chair and criticize or you know, say something negative to you on your YouTube and stuff. But hey, man, come on out here. I'm not even going to take you on a guided tour. You go by yourself. I mean, the locals here would come out here for the swimming hole. You understand? Or something like that. They would take a place back here to go swimming rather than go to the lake where the crowds were on the summer and the heat and everything. And they would turn around and seek these places out. All the kids used to go to what they called the cliffs. I mean, I've seen some things, and my brother, he's passed away now, but he was dating a local girl from here, and she professed to be a witch. And they went out into the pines one time. He was always drinking and everything anyway. He was like, they'd go out there, but she'd probably have to watch him from falling off a bridge or something, or stumbling. But he told me this story that they're out there somewhere by one of the creeks or lake or something, and they were on a bridge. And the girl said to him, "Do you want me to summon the devil right now?" And she did profess and believe that. I didn't particularly care for her, and I didn't like her even around my daughters, if you understand what I mean. You keep people like that away. He said that she scared the heck out of him. And that's him telling me, which not a lot of stuff bothered him, you know. He was full-blown alcoholic and drug addict and stuff, but he was relating to me about that. I was always the responsible one in the family, and they all came to me with their problems or whatever. "Gary, we got your brother down here in the police headquarters. You want to come get him?" Yeah, stuff like that. Oh, the ocean. My wife and I and my kids were over in Long Beach Island. It was really rough water. The Coast Guards weren't letting people go out deep, and I was probably in mid-thigh water myself. And even my kids were kind of up on the edge of the water because the waves were coming in and breaking real powerful. And I turned around. I had dumped myself in the water, got up, I turned around, and everybody on the bank, the mother included, were all screaming about their baby. Okay? I would have loved to find out who that girl or little baby was. They're screaming and looking around. There's no baby floating or anything like that. And I'm probably, from her, the distance between me and your car, the end of your car, out in the water, but it was about this deep. It was rough. And all of a sudden I found something between my legs, underwater. And it was big, you know, not a crab or anything like that. And I thought it was a shark myself. And I looked up and I saw all these people screaming, my child, and it was a baby. And the baby, I think, hung up their leg or their hand on my leg, where they stopped being carried away by like maybe a riptide running down the beach, right? I reached down and grabbed it and pulled the baby up, and it was coughing and spitting, but it was okay. And I walked back into shore and handed it to the lady, and she's like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." But I often wondered how she made out. And then another time we were at a family picnic, and we were probably, my parents had a pool, my sister was there with her 2 young girls, and we're all sitting at a picnic table not 10 feet away from the pool, all in a fenced-in area and everything but the backyard. And I had heard something, and it sounded like the sound of a tennis ball or something hitting the water, top of the water. And her older sister, who was probably 3 years old at the time, right? She's over on the edge of the pool, and she's looking over the edge of the pool, calling her sister's name. And I put the sound and what was going on really quick. I made an action. I actually, everybody's at the table. I jumped up over the table in front, all over the food, stepping on it, you know, and jumped down toward the pool, got to the edge of the pool, and I saw my niece down at the deep end of the pool with her eyes wide open, her hands up in the air like this, looking at me. And I, God forbid, look on, terrible. I jumped in there and grabbed her and pulled her out. She was coughing and spitting and everything like that, but she was okay too. I recently talked to her again about that because she remembers, she was so little at the time, she remembers her mom and everybody telling her the story about it, how Uncle Gary pulled you out of the bottom of the grandma's pool. But it happened so quickly. And then that's, once again, people around were drinking. I wasn't drinking, okay? I had my wife there with my 3 little daughters, and stuff, and we're just having hamburgers and stuff like that. I'm not even drinking a beer, because actually I was highly allergic to beer. Yeah, that's what happened. And I think in that way, if I look back on my life, I brought this up to a prayer group of people I met with 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said, a couple of the important things that I felt that I did, that I was placed in the right place by God to do this, was to get these 2 little kids. Because to me, that was like important. I was very protective toward children whatsoever, and to be used that way to get them and to save them, that baby was gone if God didn't put her between my legs. And what happened, I believe, is big wave came there, grabbed the baby in probably very shallow water, knocked her over, and dragged her out. And the mother was there, and she couldn't do anything, and the baby went underwater, probably 15 feet away from the mom, but there was like a drop-off there, and the water went from nothing to middle of the thigh high. That's what happened to me. I'm not polishing any medals or breast buttons or any of that stuff. That was something I was called to do. I was there for that reason. So we went to that beach that day for that. I was sent there to intercede. So, I don't know. I would assume from that point on, the mother watched that baby like a hawk, but that baby would be almost mid-50s by now, because my daughters were little then and they're in their 50s now. So greenheads, horseflies, pine flies. Yeah, we're here. Oh, she's got the key. I was going to press it to wake her up. Ophelia! Oi!
All right, well, I appreciate you coming out here and telling me.
Yeah, anything you want to know.
Okay, so I've decided to return to the exact location where Gary's encounter happened, and I'm actually pulling into the woods right now. By the time I get out there, I believe it'll be around the same time that this happened. And okay, granted, of course, this was over 40 years ago, but I just want to get a feel for the situation. There's actually people out here. Wow. Unreal. There's actually someone out here. What is this? There's like a freaking... And if this isn't some gnarly, piney stuff going on right here, I don't know what is. What is this? Where are these guys taking this thing? Alright, we're turning around. This is insane. This must be like the cranberry bog back here. Okay. Out of here. This is actually extremely nerve-wracking because I had no idea it was this far. I have no service, so I'm just going off of the map that I had preloaded already on my phone, and I've been driving through the woods, I would say at least 3 to 4 miles already. So if I broke down out here, I just don't see myself walking out of here before the sun sets. And I have very minimal amount of gas. I don't know what I was thinking. This is like a literal horror film, but it's showing that pretty much up ahead is where I want to be. I'm more than halfway there, but I just don't think that Gary remembered how far he actually drove in the woods because it was so long ago. Because the other day when we were here, we only drove a little bit ways in, like half a mile, not even. But actually it was more like 4 or 5, 6, up to like 10 miles deep. So, I don't know. We're here now. Not really much I can do about it. Alright, so I just don't know why I wasn't filming, but I just got rocked. So I'm at the point now where this is like turning into something that could just be straight up dangerous. And I got no gas. I'm gonna have to turn around. I'm no joke. This is gnarly. Really, really gnarly. Alright, so at this point, I'm like, been driving for like literally 10 miles and I'm feeling like really, really sketched. No joke. Like there's like a knot in my stomach. And I don't know even where I am because there's no GPS or anything. So yeah, there's something seriously weird about these woods. Alright, so I'm not even gonna lie, I'm shitting my pants right now. I'm so deep in the woods. There's a bunch of tracks and stuff right here. I did come to what is called Martha's Furnace, which is literally exactly what he was describing. I just don't see the bridge anywhere around here. So let's just check out the furnace and then we'll look for the bridge. It's just too close to oh no, now I lost my location. Oh no. Alright, we're gonna check this out and then get out of here. This right here, what would be considered the Martha's Furnace area. But what I'm seeing in there is just making me think all sorts of crazy stuff here. I don't know, dude. I'm just straight up tripping. Like, what is this stuff here? On the side here, and why is there a feather in there? This is weird. This is scary, actually. Like, I shouldn't be here. I'm trying to hold the camera as tight as possible, but like my heart's beating 1,000 miles an hour right now. I don't know why. It's just a feeling. It's nothing that happened. All right, I'm gonna walk a little bit and see if I can find this bridge. Here.
Yeah, it's just keep going down this. No, it's like 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes.
Oh,
Hey.
sorry, buddy. Is it pretty safe to drive through here?
You can't drive over the bridge.
Oh, you can't.
No. No, there's like holes on the other side, like right in the middle. So you can walk across it.
All right. It's pretty cool. Holy shit. No. No way am I doing all that. Holy shit. I am out. Whew. That was just like the most scared I've been in a long time. Shoo. So, okay. I'm taking this to the maximum extreme because I'm like 30 minutes deep into the woods. And I wasn't in my car or near it. No phone service, no nothing. And I come across a dude just standing there with a massive freaking buck knife. I'm talking like 12, 14 inches long, just whittling a piece of wood. And he had like a super gnarly, I'm not gonna even say like attack dog, because it's not an attack dog, it's just his dog, but the dog started going, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh. And the only thing I could think of is like all the people who commented on the videos saying the only thing that's dangerous in the woods is the pineys just started flashing through my head. Like, I'm not gonna get I'm not gonna see the Jersey Devil out here. I'm just gonna get straight up murdered by some dude. And yeah, I could just be taking this way far because like my mind is playing tricks on me, but like, holy shit, I'm out of here. Out of here. He's allowed to do whatever he wants out there. Most likely a super nice guy, but yeah, no, I don't know. It's too far, too crazy. I'm out. I just ran back to my car and just bounced. Okay, so after doing some investigating and some exploring, I'm like 95% sure what is moving? I'm like pretty sure, almost positive, that this road right here is the same road that Gary had his encounter on back in 1981 or 1982. I went all the way down this road, made it to like the furnace area, which I saw that tree. There was like some witchcraft going on in there, whatever was going on in there. There was a feather of a bird. There was a little like bowl with stones in it and burnt stuff in the bottom of the thing. There was etchings on the tree. And then I went further looking for the bridge because Gary spoke of a bridge that he was driving away from. And I ran into one of the locals, some guy that was just standing in the middle of the woods with his dog, and he just had a massive knife like this big. So I hightailed it out of there. I didn't see the bridge. It's just obvious that this is the road because they would have been coming out of here back to the main road this way. I was able to pin down the location of what happened. I'm shook though. I'm straight up shook. Like, I know I whatever, you can call me a pussy, whatever, but like that was too much for me. I thought it was going to be a nice cruise through the woods, find the bridge, film a little bit, go back, drink some water, head home, have some dinner, but I'm like shaking a little bit just from being out here. It's eerie. It's scary. All right, here we are. I've made it to the border of the woods. So the main road's like right there. I can see the cars passing. But I was driving so fast out of there in the beginning that look what I did to my car. I literally destroyed my freaking side mirror, and this was the one that works. So this was the good one. A little thing of holy water here. I'm gonna put some on my hands. You never can be too safe. Bless myself with this. That was gnarly out there. But yeah, that's the video. I mean, if you guys want to see more Pine Barrens episodes, let me know in the comments. I do have one thing planned, but if it gets any more intense than it did today, I don't know if I can handle it. All right, I'm out of here. Here we are, main road. So I officially made it out of the Pine Barrens alive. this time anyways. Phew.